All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to another one. We got a special one for you today. We're going to be talking about my new 1885, and I'm super stoked about this, guys. Ever since I was a little kid, growing up watching all the westerns, I was always just mesmerized by, the guy that was sitting up in the church tower with the long gun and a long scope, and whether it was a Sharps or an 1885, either one of them. It's just always been something that's intrigued me and something that I've always wanted and kind of a lifelong goal of mine, if you will. And we have achieved that goal. Sitting before me today is a C Sharps Arms Model 1885 high wall. I'm going to be breaking it down. This is kind of a little bit of a special gun to me. It's something that I've been wanting for a long time. Actually, I was watching a video of Will Primo shoot a bull with a C Sharps Arms Sharps rifle, and it just really kind of lit a fire in me, and I decided that I better get one ordered while I could. And I really wanted a C Sharps Arms one. I did not want like a new birdie or anything like that. I just kind of wanted to order just a special, kind of like a custom heirloom type gun, if you will. And I really wanted to have the long scope. I didn't know these existed until I started kind of looking into them. And we'll talk more about the scope in a minute. But the combination, just the whole package, with this case hardened finish and the walnut and in the scope, I just think that this gun came together very nicely. So yeah, let's get into it. So like I said, this gun was made by a company in Montana called C Sharps Arms. They're located out of Big Timber, Montana. They're really known for very custom high-end single shot rifles, whether that be any of the Sharps rifles or in this case the Winchester Model 1885s. I've kind of taken to collecting these Model 1885s. I just think they're just an icon of history, and there's several different companies that make them, whether it's Winchester proper or Browning, C Sharps Arms, Uberti, stuff like that. But I kind of started collecting them. I have a few of them now, but I did not have one in 4570, chambered in 4570, which is one of the cartridges that they kind of originally would have came with, I guess. And so I bit the bullet and saved up all my pennies, and I ordered this gun early last summer, and it came around the first of the year. I've actually had it for a while, but I really haven't had time to mess with it. And of course I was kind of waiting for a nice day. So and I also kind of wanted to talk about it really before I started shooting it a whole bunch. So but yeah, let's kind of get into the technical specifications of the gun. Like I said, it is chambered in 4570. Not the most ballistically superior cartridge by any means, but if you're going to go this far, you may as well have it at least somewhat period correct. So a lot of people that buy these, they shoot black powder cartridges out of them. I might at some point in time go down that road, but for the time being, I'm just going to stick with the smokeless stuff. This has a 30-inch barrel. It's a number 3 contour. I didn't really know what I was ordering when I ordered it. Looking back now, I probably would have gone with a little bit lighter contour. This gun is very, very heavy. I do plan on hunting with it. That was kind of like I didn't want to just buy it and put it in the gun safe and then never touch it again. I like to use my guns, and I just think there's something special about hunting with a wood furniture, just like an old school kind of a classic gun. I've got bolt action guns that'll stack them in a thumbnail at 200. I've done the long range stuff. I've killed things over 1,000 yards, and all that's awesome, and that has a time and a place. But when you die, nobody's going to care about your bolt action guns. But what they will care about is the cool, kind of like family heirloom, classic wood furniture, guns with stories. And that's what I hope that this is. I hope that this kind of gets passed down from generation to generation through my family and onto my kids and my grandkids, and hopefully everybody will take it out and shoot something with it occasionally. But yeah, so it's got a 30-inch barrel. It's a number 3 contour, chambered in 4570, like I already talked about. This has a straight grip stock on it. I kind of prefer a straight grip stock. I grew up shooting Winchester lever actions all the time. You know, I had a 22 and a 30-30, and so I just kind of like these old school guns, just with an old school stock, you know, a straight grip, hand checkered on this. I actually sent them this black walnut. My grandpa milled this black walnut up. It's been sitting here in the barn for a long time, and there was a big chunk of it that I was saving for a gun stock, and we finally got around to, when I ordered this gun, you know, I got a hold of them and said, hey, if I send you some walnut, will you use it for the stock? And yeah, so I sent them the walnut, which is pretty cool. That's just kind of a nice personal touch. It has, let's see here. I wrote all this down because I didn't want to mess it up. The scope is a Malcolm 6X long rifle scope. I didn't know these scopes existed until I started kind of researching the gun, and then I saw a picture of a Sharps with this scope on it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need that scope. So after a little bit of sleuthing it out, I finally tracked it down. I believe that this is the 2nd or 3rd generation. They have made some improvements. It's just a fixed 6-power. It is externally adjusted, which is definitely has a little bit of a learning curve to it. It's fine, honestly. It's really accurate. It shoots really good, but it does definitely take a little bit getting used to. There's some nuances to it that I have discovered, and we'll kind of talk about those as we go through it. But the mosquitoes are after me. I think I got it. The gun itself weighs 11.5 pounds. So I've got some pretty big backpacking kind of backcountry hunts this year. And I think I'm going to try to take this gun on all of them, to be honest. As long as I can get it shooting, you know, relatively good to where I can shoot out to, you know, 250, 300 yards. I think I'll probably end up packing this thing with me all over. With one exception, I probably will not take it to Prince of Wales, just because of how kind of brushy and nasty it is, and just the kind of the nature of this gun. You do have to be a little bit careful with it. I don't really want to go dragging it through the brush that bad, and the scope being as long as it is, it's relatively delicate, you know, like you do have to be somewhat, you do have to be a little bit cognizant of that. But yeah, it's phenomenal. You know, it's everything that I possibly could have wanted. The fit and finish is just phenomenal. The wood turned out beautiful. I love the case hardened finish. I mean, it's perfect. You know, like it is in my mind, it is exactly what I was envisioning. So there are some nuances with this scope, some things that you need to be aware of if you guys purchase one. It's an awesome scope. I love it. Functionality wise, like it's very nice. The glass quality is good. The field of view is decent, honestly. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's I believe it's 10 feet at 100 yards. It's like I mentioned earlier, it's a fixed 6-power. Everything is machined very well. Everything is nice, tight tolerances. But if you are going to mount one of these scopes on a gun with any amount of significant recoil, such as this one, you have to put everything. I would highly recommend putting everything together with a Loctite, either a yellow Loctite or a blue Loctite. I probably wouldn't red Loctite it. But when I first got the gun, I direct shipped C Sharps Arms the scope. They put the scope on the gun just to make sure everything would line up properly. In the sunshade, everything was the right length. And when they shipped it back to me, of course, the scope, everything was all mounted up. The first thing I really wanted to do was take it out and shoot it. So I did, and after a few rounds, I noticed that the front dovetail block was moving. It was walking around in that dovetail. So I kind of quit shooting it at that point in time, took it home, took the whole thing apart. There's some set screws that hold everything together. I tightened those set screws back up, put the whole thing back together. Both dovetails actually were moving. And then I took it back out and started shooting it a little bit more. And actually those set screws, they loosened up once again. I knew I should have probably Loctited them. I didn't have any Loctite at home, and so I put it back together and, you know, wasted a few rounds, but that's okay. I still need to take it all apart and retighten everything up, put some Loctite. I think I'll probably use a blue Loctite just to make sure that everything kind of is solidified. Really, because this scope will more than likely stay on this gun. I really do not have plans of taking the scope off this gun ever. At some point in time I might, but you know, it's really I love the package. I love the look of it. Honestly, the scope is pretty functional. The gun shoots very good with the scope. You know, I was curious, being externally adjusted. You know, this scope moves with the recoil. The scope slides back and forth, and that's one of the weird parts about it. You got to get used to pulling the scope back into battery, but it's pretty accurate. You know, unfortunately things fell apart on me today when I was shooting at 100, but when I was shooting at 50 with the 250 grain monoflexes, Hornady monoflexes, it basically shot a ragged hole at 50 yards, which, you know, for what it is, I was pretty happy with that. So once I get the scope and everything kind of put back together and get the little corks ironed out, I'm excited to shoot it at 100 and out to 200 and beyond, and kind of see what it'll do. But yeah, one thing kind of special and specific about my gun is I wanted an octagon barrel. Octagon barrels I love octagon barrels, especially on a single shot rifle. I wanted a full octagon barrel, but like I said, I really kind of wanted to use this gun, and I'm kind of a wuss when it comes to recoil. I do not really like heavy recoiling guns. And it being a 45-70, you know, I've shot 45-70s before, and they pack some punch to them. And I wanted to try to minimize that a little bit. And so I asked the guys at C Sharps Arms, I said, hey, have you guys ever built a break on one of these things that's clocked and timed with an octagon barrel? And they're like, well, no, you know, we've never done that. But it sounds like a good idea, you know, let's try it. And so we did. I went ahead and had them. They built me a break that's timed, you know, perfectly with the barrel. So you really can't, aside from just the slight variation in the finish, you can't even tell that it's not one continuous piece of barrel. And then I also had a thread protector on it as well, just in case I didn't want to run the break. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. I will take some close-ups of that just so you guys can kind of see how that turned out, but that's awesome. And the break definitely does help. I've shot it with the thread protector and with the break, and it's definitely more pleasant to shoot with the break. I might even have them, I might send it back to them and have them open it up a little bit more, just to try to maximize the reduction of recoil. But as far as ammo is concerned, for the time being, I really like Hornady box ammo. Eventually, I might reload for it, especially if I'm not getting the kind of accuracy that I want to have. But for the time being, I'm just shooting Hornady Lever Revolution. I am planning on hunting California this year, so I picked up some 250 grain Monoflexes as well as some 325 grain FTXs. I've shot those FTX bullets before, and they have performed very well. I've actually shot a deer with one, and it didn't go very far. So I like that FTX bullet. That being said, the little bit that I was shooting today, those 250 grain Monoflexes, they definitely grouped better at 50 yards than the FTXs. But I don't know how much of that was the scope. You know, I might not have caught it right away, I guess. And so we'll see once I get everything put together. Like I said, I'm gonna shoot it again, and I might try a couple other loadings as well. I've been using just the box velocities for now, which obviously aren't going to be super accurate. You know, for the most part, they're shooting these and they're probably testing them out of lever action guns with shorter barrels. but it'll, you know, just kind of give me a frame of reference, if you will. And I wrote some of these numbers down just for anybody that's curious. The BC of the 250 grain Monoflex is 0.175. That's G1. Velocity, according to the box, is 2,025 feet per second at the muzzle. So if it's 0 to 100, that's 11.5 inches of drop at 200 and 44 inches of drop at 300. So every yard matters. Yeah, not what I'm used to shooting. And then for the 325 grain FTXs, they have a BC of 0.23, a velocity of 2,000 feet per second, and 0 to 100, you have 10 inches of drop at 200 and 38 inches of drop at 300. So that's literally 6 inches less drop shooting the 325s, which is crazy considering it's a heavier bullet. You know, that just goes to show you BC matters, and you guys need to be paying attention to those things. As far as a hunting load goes, I think either one of them will probably perform just fine. Obviously, it would be nice to shoot the 325 grains, but I will say my shoulder does not like the 325 grains. The 250s are much, much more pleasant to shoot. So, but we'll see. You know, I'm going to shoot whatever's most accurate at the end of the day. I'll take accuracy over knockdown power every day of the week. And yeah, you know, I mean, that's kind of it. If you guys have any more questions about this gun or about the scope, you know, I'll post some videos specific to like how you adjust the scope, and I'm going to build my own kind of, I think I'm going to have, I'm going to mill out a brass plate that basically has yardage markers on here, just because it has like kind of like a quasi vernier scale on it now, but I think it's just going to be much, much, much simpler if I drill and tap the sight. And then basically just have a little brass plate with individual yardage markers. Maybe I might even do like 25-yard increments on it out to however far I can shoot, you know, just because it is fun to shoot far. Not necessarily going to hunt with it at long distance, but it's fun to shoot it at long distance. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. C-Sharps Arms, thank you very much. This is a beautiful gun. I really appreciate the craftsmanship and just the time and effort that you guys put into your guns. You know, they're expensive, but they're no more expensive than buying a high-end precision long-range gun with a high-end scope, you know. And like I said, you know, when you die, nobody's going to give a crap about your custom bolt gun with your Night Force on top of it, you know, like it. Much cooler to have something with wood furniture and case hardened finish, and just a kind of more of a collector's item. So yeah, you guys, I'll take some close-ups, but just like that, bullet goes in, close her up and let her rip. The trigger too, the trigger's really nice. I don't know, I haven't weighed it, but I would imagine it's probably 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds, something like that. Very crisp. Everything about this gun, everything about the action, I mean, it's just everything. The quality is perfect. I mean, it's beautiful. The gun with the number 3 contour in the scope, that's about the point. What's the word I'm looking for? That's about where the weight is evenly distributed, right there where I'm holding it. It's when you're holding it, it definitely feels a little nose heavy. Like I said, looking back, I would have gone with a lighter contour. You know, if I was just shooting it off of a bench rest all the time or for competitions, I think it's great. But for packing around the woods and hunting, you know, it could be a little lighter. But the weight makes it a little bit more pleasant to shoot. So, yep, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and let's go to the range and we'll see how she shoots. Here we go. Sun finally came out. You can really see that case hardened well. Just beautiful. And the walnut. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gun. All right, guys. Well, here we are. Made it out to the range. Got the 1885. It's a beautiful day. We're going to go ahead and test a couple different ammos and get this thing sighted in and hopefully shoot a bear with it next weekend or sometime soon anyways. So stay tuned and we'll see how she shoots. All right, guys, this is what we're going to be shooting for ammo today. We've got, first up is the Hornady Lever Revolution 4570 Government 325 grain FTXs. I'm really hoping these shoot good. These are kind of the bullets that I'm wanting to shoot. Muzzle velocity is 2,000 feet per second according to the box. I don't have a chrono today, so we're just going to kind of base everything off of box speeds. But yeah, we'll see how she performs. And then the second one is 4570, the 250 grain Monoflexes, California certified. The reason that we're shooting these is I'm hopefully thinking about taking this thing to California with me this year to try to shoot a blacktail. So that's what we're shooting today. These are a little bit faster, 25. Except they're whatever 75 grains lighter, and the BC is quite a bit less on them. So actually these end up dropping faster than the FTXs do. So we'll see. Hopefully they both shoot pretty well, and yeah. All right, guys, here's a little bit of a pro tip for you. I haven't sighted this gun in yet. I have not shot it on paper, so instead of burning through a bunch of ammo trying to figure out where I'm hitting, in anything that you can see through the down the barrel, whether it's a bolt gun or in this case a falling block style, the easiest way to do it, or at least to get you close, is to actually look down the barrel itself and get the target essentially right in the middle of the barrel. And then try to match the scope to that. So in this case, I'm going to say that I need to come up just a little bit. And I'm going to say windage is pretty close. So I'm going to try to give you guys a picture of what I'm looking at. So here's kind of what I'm looking at. You can kind of see the target down there. And then if we go over to the scope, windage is off just a little bit, but that's because the gun moved. So we're gonna go ahead and call that good. We're just shooting at that brown bag for now, just to get close, and then we'll move over to the shoot and see. But yep, that's a good little tip for you guys. Save you a little bit of ammo, make your sight ins a little faster. So keep that in mind. Just like that. First up is the 250 grain Monoflexes. I got a couple more of these, so I'm just gonna use these to get us close anyways. Yeah, we're close. This thing has got some recoil to it, that is for sure. Even with the brake, it helps, but it still hurts. Okay. So, let's see what we need to do here. All right, let's shoot another one. Hardest part is making sure you remember to pull the scope back. That one is in the bullseye. We will take that. Okay. All right, so that is the Monoflex. Let's shoot one of the FTXs and see how close they group together. Because I want to scoot back as far as I can, but I don't want to go too far if there's a little bit of point impact shift between the two of them, that I somehow end up off my target. So, okay, this is a 325 grain FTX. Scope is good. These ones pack a little bit more wallop too. Yeah, see, those ones hit way low. I kind of remember that from before. So, I don't know what to do here. I guess we're going to shoot a group with the Monoflexes, and then we'll re-zero for the FTXs. I don't really want to do that, but I think that's what we're going to have to do. Okay, so I think I'll shoot a 5-shot group just to try to get an average. I only got 4 out of this box, then I'll have to go get another box, but yeah, let's see what it does. I'd really like to scoot back to 100, but I already got everything set up at 50. I think we're just going to go for it here. All right. Let's see what we can do. Scope is back in battery. I'm actually going to aim at the number 10 above the orange dot. Seems to be shooting pretty good, folks. That was just a hair off. Not by much, though. It's right in there. Call me a wuss, but my shoulder already hurts. We got a pretty ragged hole down there. Even with the brake. It's a lot of gun. I don't think I need to shoot another one. We're pretty consistent. Let's go down there and take a look. All right, so here we go. We'll look at this one first. So this was my first shot with the 250s after I adjusted my scope. That was the next shot. pretty sweet. And then, so this is the difference in the point of impact shift between the 250s and the 325s. They hit significantly lower. And I kind of remember that from the last time I was shooting too. So they are not interchangeable, definitely not. But if we move over to this one, okay, keep in mind this is only 50 yards, but I was holding right here, aiming at this 10, and that's 4 shots right there. I mean, that's definitely, I mean, there's my thumb. It's maybe 1 inch. So, I mean, that's a, what would that be? A 2-minute group, I guess, at 50 yards. But I'm sure that we can probably clean that up a little bit. So that's pretty good. That bottom one was actually the first shot that I shot, and then the next 3 are basically in a clover leaf there on top of each other. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll shoot the FTXs now and see what they do. Up next is the 325 grain FTXs. Hopefully these shoot good. These are the ones I really want to shoot, I think, at least for the most part. Everywhere but California. All right, scope is good. I think I'm gonna adjust just a little bit here. Let's see what they'll do. I might have pulled that one just a tick. They're all in there okay though, not quite as good as first group. All right, here we go. Same, aiming at the 10. And this one here is my last shot. It's definitely possible I pulled it, I don't know, but definitely not quite as tight as the 250s, to be honest, which is pretty interesting. I'll probably scoot back to 100 and shoot a few and see what happens here. So I think I'm just going to cover these up, and I'm going to scoot back and we'll shoot a few more, and then we'll put a fresh target up and try it again. That front post might also be moving. I'm having a really hard time keeping these things from moving on me, to be honest. I think that block definitely moved. That's a bummer. I'm gonna have to figure out how to keep that from happening. These scopes are pretty awesome. They're pretty cool, but they're definitely there's definitely some corks with them. The screws coming loose is proving to be a problem. I think I'm ultimately gonna have to take all this back apart and Loctite everything together, which I should have done in the first place, but I didn't because I wanted to shoot it. Okay, you see how it's not quite in the dovetail there? It's slid over, it's not, we'll look at that side. compared to that side. You see how it's moving there. So there are some set screws that hold that in place. I've actually had problems with both the forward one and the back one. Gun, reliable. Scope, maybe not so much. But we'll see. I guess I'm gonna have to take everything back apart and Loctite it.